Hello everyone. Today we will start our new lesson on system analysis and design. Okay? We are starting from chapter 1. So first of all, we need to know what is a system. The word system is derived from a Greek word which is systema, which means the organized relation between any set of components to achieve some common cause object. That means that if you want to do a task and you have done some works with some materials, so the whole task and materials are together are called as a system. So a system is an ordinary grouping of independent components linked together according to a plan to achieve a specific goal. This is the diagram. You need to give an input, then the processing system and give you the output is a system. Now first of all, we need to know the definition. We have already know the definition of system. Now the goal. The overall goal of system analysis is to study procedural components and models. We have already known about system, but what is system analysis? If you generate a system and then after that you could study on the system how it works, how the works could be do, how the things will be happen, and the further studies or research are known as system analysis. Information system analysis and design is a method to develop and maintain the system that performs the basic business functions. The example of bank we can take here. Now in the banking sector we all have many systems like as billing system, cash withdrawal system. Those all are separated system. If we analyze on each system, that time it will called as a system analysis. And if we get how this system is designed, this will know as a system design. Together this is called as system analysis and design. Now objectives: to determine specific needs of the system, discuss approaches of the task, evaluation tools and techniques, now use appropriate methods and technologies to design the software. System analysis and design. In analysis, we question what to do, and in design, we discuss about how to do the task. This is the major difference between system analysis and system design. What is system analysis and design? Here are some points on analysis and design. You can go through them. Systems are created to solve a problem. Thinking about the system approaches as an organically way to solve the problem, and in system analysis and design mainly deals with the software development activities. Now the constraints of the system. A system must have some structure and behavior, interconnectivity and interdependency between the components. The objective of the organization have a higher priority. Those all are construction or constraints of systems. Now, properties and characteristics of a system. This part is very important for your question point of view. So, properties and characteristics of system are to be: first, it needs to be organized. That means all components you have. Let us suppose you need to do a work with wood. You have the wood, you have the hammer, the the pins, but first of all you need to organize them in a settlement way. This is the organization section. Then now the interaction. Interaction is, it is defined by the manner in which the components operate with each other. That the pin cannot work properly without the hammer. Those are interaction. After that action, it will do an action. This is interaction. Now, interdependency. Interdependency means how the components of a system depends on one another. In here, the wood which are needs to connect are dependent on pins, and pins are dependent to stick by the hammers. So those are interdependency, that each of part and element is dependent on each other. Now integration. Integration is means to combine. Without any of those elements, the tool cannot be made. If you minus the wood part, that then what it will do? And if you minus the pin part, you can make the chair, but it cannot be stable. And without the hammer, you cannot make the pin pinned properly. So this is integration of wood, pin and hammer is known as integration. Integration means combination of a set. Now, control objectives. The control objectives is the central part. The central or control objectives are the same thing. The objective of system must be centralized. The object which is need to be made is need to be centralized in a centralized manner. So now we can know about the characteristics of the system, which is very important for your question point of view. Here are some points of characteristics. We have already discussed this. Those are organization, interaction. Organization means to put things together. Interaction means to do things one after another. Interdependency means the dependency part, and the integration means of the combination, and the central objective is the final objective. There are three basic implication. A system must be designed to achieve a predetermined objective. Interrelationship and interdependency is a must. The objective of an organization must given the higher priority, because if there is no central objective, nothing will happen in this system. This is the diagram of elements of a system. Here we have some elements like as control, input, process, output and feedback. First of all, we will go through this diagram. First, we can see that we have resources. Resources, what are the resources? Here are human, computers, training staff, those are resources. Then procedures. Procedures means how to do the work. Then data and informations are the input and output. Then the intermediate data is the processing data. The process is to how the work is done, and the environment is the system should be adopt an environment, because everything need to be an environment. You are a student now, you are in the class. This class have a teaching environment and listening learning environment. If you are on the road and you want to learn something, it is quite difficult for you without having the environment. So this is the environment factor. And the feedback is the result. If you are a student and you understand something from your teacher, you will send an acknowledgement that yes teacher, I have understand that. This is the feedback section. So I hope you are clear with the environment section and the feedback section. Now from this diagram, firstly we need to go to the input. From this input we will get it to the processing unit, and in the processing unit we have the control section. In the control section we have all the controls to what to need in the process or system, and what to process process in this system is controlled by the control section in the processing unit. After that we will get an output. If the output is okay, then the feedback would be an acknowledgement, and if the output is not okay, then it will give a negative acknowledgement, which is the feedback section. And this whole thing are done in the environment. So if there is any boundaries and interface, the boundaries and interface means which are not included in the environment. The outside of this border, the environment border, outside of this environment border is known as boundaries and interface. That in your class you can study, you can read books, but you cannot sleep. So the sleeping is the boundary of your class. Now have a snap of this one. This diagram is very important for your exam question view. This is another diagram of feedback. Input is going on, processing the data, give us the output, and the output sends the feedbacks again to the input. If the input is good, it will again continue another input, and if it is bad, then it will stop and recheck what is the problem with the output. We have already discussed about boundaries and interfaces. It is basically the limitations of identified the components, process and interrelations are could be the points of boundaries and interfaces. System analysis and design focus on three major things: systems, processes, and technologies. We already know what is system and process. What are the technologies? Thus, the system is a way that things do to about organize and solve their problems with individual techniques. Those techniques are called technology. That in banking sector we use the manual section where you need to write the calculations, but in nowadays we use computer to calculate the data. So this is the technology section. So I hope you are clear with the system, process, and technology. Now, type of systems. There are several types of system. First is physical or abstract system. In the physical or abstract system, which is the system which we can touch and see. In the physical system are tangible entities that we can touch and feel, are known as physical activities and abstract systems. Now, in the physical system may be static or dynamic in nature. For example, desk, chair, those those are static, and program in computer is a dynamic system which program data and application can be changed according to the user needs. Now, abstract system are non-physical entities. Point to be noted: abstract systems are non-physical entities or conceptual, that they may be formula or representation or models, known as abstraction. So physical systems we can touch, but abstraction system which we cannot touch, those are formulas and representations. Now, system models. There are some system models in which are semantic model. A semantic model is a 2D chart to show the system element and their linkage, and different arrows are used to show the information material flow and information feedbacks. Now, the flow system model is to show only just the flow of the system, is known as flow system model. Now, static system models are Gantt charts. We have already know in the programming section what is Gantt chart. They represent one pair of relationships such as activity, time, or cost quantity. In this section, those are activity time relationship which generates the static system models. Now, the dynamic system models can be changed in time to time. In the business organization, dynamic systems are used. Here we have the inputs enter the system, then it will take some time and place to transform it, then the program requires some processing unit, then after processing we will have the output. This is known as dynamic system, but static system only generates the output at once and give us without changing it. Now we have the open or closed system. If the system can take data from the environment and interacts with the environment, then it will known as the open system. And if the system is closed, it will not interact with the environment. If you need the examples, the open system could be if you are boiling water on a jar, but you have no you have nothing on the top of this jar, so the water will interact with the environment, and after some time the water will be flown away. So this is the open system. But if you close the top of the jar with something, that water cannot go out, so this will be a closed system. That the water could not go out from the system. This is a closed system, and that was the open system. Now, there are 5 important characteristics of open system which can be defined. Now, one is input output. We have already know what is input and what is output. Now, what is entropy? Entropy, all the dynamic statements tend the rundown and over time, resulting the entropy is loss of energy. If you in the general thinking, if you lost your energy, is called the entropy. You are running on the sun and you are losing your energy very quickly, so this is your entropy. Now, process, output, and cycles. Cycles are charts, so which are go like oval shape from this one to this one to that one, like this one. This is a cycle, and output is output, and process we have already discussed. Differentiation is means the difference between two parts or portions. Now equifinality means the equalization or equal part, that we can say that A is equals to B. This is the equalization factor. Now we have discussed about the information systems. Here are man-made information systems. Those systems are made by men. That's why those are called man-made information system. There are direct management control, which is known as DMC. Man-made systems are divided into three types. Those types are very important for your question in the examination. One is formal information, informal information, and computer based information. Formal information is your teacher wants to inform you something, and he will write a formal letter to you, so this is a formal information. But you are in the class and you are telling something to your friend, that this is not formal, this is an informal information system. And now computer based information system is included with computer. If the information or technology comes from the computer automatically, like as a library system and a railway system, those are known as computer based information systems. Moving on to the next. In the formal information system, there are top management to the lower management, but in informal information system, you have employee based system, and this is for day to day work, because you are gossiping with your friends. This is an informal system, and this is a day to day work system. And formal systems are top management to low management. That means you are in the school and your headmaster gives you a notice, so this is from top management to you are the lower management. And computer based system we have already discussed. This diagram is very important for your exam point of view. Here we can see that we have static planning, then management control, and then operational control. Static planning is the boss. Who is the boss of this office is the strategic planner, and the managers and the other officers are known as the management controller, and the workers are working in this office is known as operational control. Here we have the discussion support system, which is known as DSS, which is on the top. Discussion support system is decided by the owners of this company, is known as decision supportive system, because they give us the decision. And then the management information system, which are the works of the manager to analyze the reports of the previous results and uh, company shares, to tell the owners that company is moving forward or going back, or to manage the workers. And the operational control is for transaction support system, that they only works, they could not do much for the company. Now moving on to the next category of information, there are static information, which is the high level, then managerial information, which is the mid level, and the operational information, which is the low level. Here are some points written on static information. Here the most important thing is that this decision can be changed easily by the owners. So this is decision supportive system, which is DSS. Then managerial is the middle layer and known as the management information system, which is known as MIS, which is need to be the analyzing part. And the operational information is the employees, they are in the day to day work, and those are known as transaction processing system, which is TPS, or data processing system, which is DPS. In the managerial information system, we have database management system, which is DBMS, which is managed by the by the manager and all other officers who are working in the decision making system of middle layer. Why decision supporting system DSS is important? Here we need to make a decision first, then some people need to support that, and then the system runs on it. So this is known as decision support system, which is DSS. This is a small question but very important question for your exam. Now moving on to the next. Here are some difference between MIS, which is managerial information system, and DSS, which is data this is which is the decision support system is given below. You can have a snap of this and go through it. This one is also middle level important question for your exam. Have a snap of this one. Okay, moving on to the next. Here we have the difference between system analysis and system design. Analysis is the part of system analysis, and the design part is for the programmer and software architecture. In system analysis we know what to do, and in system design we know how to do. This is the audience are of this system analysis are users and chief programmers, and here the audiences are programmers and technical specifically supporters. So that's for the chapter 1. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. The description link, check the description link to have the slide. Thank you.